guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Appleseed if you're new here. If you're not, welcome back. First off, we just hit 1900 subscribers, which is crazy. So thank you guys so much for all your continued support. It really means a lot to me to know that you guys are enjoying my content. It's what motivates me to keep making content. So thank you all for being here. If this is your first video here, I make content about my life in NYC, a little bit of a slice of life, interior decorating, art, design, things that I'm really into. And then also I'm working on a brand, so that's gonna be part of this journey that we're all on. If you're into any of that type of content, then definitely stick around. If you guys saw my last video, I was in Chicago and I actually picked up this book, Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner, also known as Japanese Breakfast. Guys, I am a huge Japanese Breakfast fan. I have been listening to her music since her first album, which is a decade ago now. Insane. Time flies. Time truly does fly. But I've been a huge fan of Japanese Breakfast, and she actually wrote this book, Crying in H Mart, which is her memoir. It is a fantastic book, guys. It is really sad, relatable. I would say she's pretty big in the indie world. This is probably one of the best books I've ever read. I'm gonna say that about every book I read, but truly, this is probably one of the best books I've ever read. The book is very much about her struggling to launch her music career while grieving and dealing with her mother's death and cancer. And throughout that experience, there is this bit of diaspora. She is half Korean and half white, so she feels like because of her mother's death, she's kind of losing touch with her Korean side. So there is this element of diaspora in the book that I really like. Very relatable, especially reading about her relationship with her mom, as well as her dealing with her Korean identity. I'm not Korean, I'm Chinese, but I do relate and feel a lot of the themes that are going on throughout this book. I'm grateful enough to not have had to deal with a death in a family yet, or cancer, let alone, which is really scary. And I can totally sympathize with people who have had to deal with that. I'm sure it's very scary, very traumatic, and very life-changing. Reading this book, I just was in tears, y'all. She had me crying. I'm almost done with it. I have a few chapters left, but so far, I truly think this is a fantastic book. And usually when you read memoirs by music artists, it feels a little kind of like, is this gonna be a good book? Did they write it? Did they have a ghostwriter? Is this book even authentic? But reading this book, I don't know this woman, obviously, but it really truly feels like something that she poured her heart and soul into. And so I highly recommend this book. If you're looking for something that's dealing with identity, diaspora, grievance, struggling to launch an art or music career, this is definitely the book for you. I will say, reading this book made me really like her music a lot more. I was already a huge fan of Japanese Breakfast. Recently, I've been getting back into Japanese Breakfast. I've been on a little bit of a Japanese Breakfast kick recently, so I'm really glad that I picked up this book and read it. While I have everybody's attention, I have actually been thinking about doing a major DIY. I have been thinking about getting a media console for the TV. Of course, I feel like the space that's under my TV is very underutilized. It's just space that's not being used that I feel like could be used for storage, things like that. And also, I'm just getting kind of sick of the fact that it just feels very empty over there. The media console that I'm thinking about getting is this Bestie media console from IKEA. It is relatively affordable for the size and what you're getting. The fact that it also comes with storage and doors and things like that and shelving. Very, very useful, very practical, and very functional. You know, I love functional decor. I figured if I was going to get something like that, I kind of want to put my little own twist into it. And so I decided to do a bit of a DIY, and I'm going to be painting the media console. I've actually brainstormed and came up with a few different designs. It started off as like this blue and green. I was kind of thinking, okay, maybe I want to stick into the world of blue and green. My apartment has a lot of blue and greens. Those are my favorite colors, beige, for example, things like that. I've been really thinking about that. And then I kind of thought about, okay, maybe I want to try something new, something that I normally wouldn't ever do. And so I settled on this red and pink design. Red and pink are colors that I normally stray away from. I mean, if you look at my apartment, there are barely any pink things around. I mean, there is that red hang it all hanger, which I really love. And actually having that red hang it all hanger is what made me really appreciate and love the color red. Red used to not be my favorite color at all, but I thought about it and I'm just like, you know what? Maybe it's time to do something that's red, something that's big, loud, and a statement piece. So I came up with this red and pink design, which I think red and pink go really well together. I think these are two really cute colors. So I have all these different red palettes. There are a lot of different ones that I was thinking about. I mean, as you can see here, there's a lot of different colors of the same shades. So I actually drew a star on the one that I settled for. And so this red is the red that I'm thinking about painting the front of the shelves. There's a lot of different reds. I sat here for over an hour just really thinking about the different types of reds I want to use and how it's going to translate even on camera. And so I had all, look at this, guys, look at this. Just looking at this spread alone, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting to kind of like this color. This is the Flirt Alert, which actually looks really good on camera. Sheesh. Wait. Am I about to reconsider my decision? Okay, let me not pull a Libra indecisive moment right now. So this is the color that I'm settling for. It is less loud and oh my gosh, wait, I actually really like this Fire Alert color. So, okay, so obviously when this video comes out, I'm not gonna have the media console painted yet. So guys, let me know which color you like better. Do you like, this is the one that I'm settling for. It's called Whiplash. But right now I'm looking at this color through the camera and this one looks so much better. Leave in the comments below Whiplash or Flirt Alert for the red front, which is gonna be the doors. I don't know, they just look so similar now too. Oh, okay. The beige actually was the easiest one to pick. I'm gonna go with this one. It's called Frittata. Put a star in the back. And I already have this color. I had painted another shelf. I used to have a shelf in my bedroom that was painted green and this beige. So I was using this beige as the doors and then it was like a green top. Right now it lives in my closet where my printer is. So since I figured I already have this color, I also really like this color. I'm gonna save a bit of money and not buy a whole separate new shade. I'm gonna keep it in the world that I know. So we're gonna go with the Frittata for the beige. So if you guys can already just imagine, the top of the shelf or the top of the media console is gonna have this Frittata color, followed by one of these. And then for the side of the cabinets, I'm gonna do a pink, just to do a little bit of like an accent color. The pink I was struggling with more so than the red, because look how many shades of pinks I like pulled from the shelf. And I just had no idea which one I wanted to go for. This is the color that I settled with for the side. It is called Infatuation. And I picked it solely based off of how it would translate with the other colors. My thought process was that I didn't want the pink to be too beige because then it would just blend in with the beige. And that I didn't want. I wanted there to still be like a translation of pink. But thinking about it now, when you paint things, they do tend to shade a little bit darker. I'm worried because I don't want this to come off too terracotta-y. There is a world where I do like a lighter shade like that. Like, I think that looks really cool. So honestly, I feel like it's gonna be between one of these two pinks. So again, let me know, guys, which one you like better. I have settled for Infatuation right now, but my mind can always change to Prairie Rose. It really just comes down to these two. And I mean, even when I was at Home Depot, I was just struggling so much to decide because there were a bajillion colors. So I thought it'd just be easier if I just pulled out whatever color that I wanted. We have some time, guys, so we have some time. So today we're gonna be repotting my money plant. I have had this money tree for, I would say, a little over 3 years now. Honestly, a little over 3 years now, and it's never gotten bigger than this point. I have moved it into many different locations. When I first got it, it lived right under my grow light, and so it was able to grow pretty fast. Then I quickly changed the location of it, and then it started getting less light, not as optimal. It was just very hard to predict the watering cycle because this pot that I have it in, this is a Williams-Sonoma pot. However, it doesn't have a drainage hole, and that is exactly why the watering on this plant has been quite inconsistent because I have just been too scared to overwater it. And I figured it's time for a repot, and I have this gigantic pot here. I bought this pot a few months ago and I didn't know what I was gonna put in it, but I realized this would actually be the perfect pot for this money tree. I absolutely love this money tree. I think it's really beautiful, and one day I really want it to just be lush and big. I have with me my chunky aeroid mix. I actually made this chunky aeroid mix a few weeks ago, and I did a little bit of a repot of some of my plants using it, and I'm quite happy with how it came out. It was actually quite simple to make. It's equal parts coco coir with a bit of orchid bark. There's also perlite in it. I also added some activated charcoal just because I think charcoal is really good for the health of the soil. I was actually buying pre-made mix for a while and I realized it was just not economically smart to do. I didn't realize that you can actually make so much more potting mix if you had just buy all the ingredients separately and made it yourself. The really good thing about making your own mix is that you can control how dense or how chunky the mix is. And so depending on your needs and like kind of your watering habits, you can customize it. I have a feeling it's gonna be quite root bound or, oh, I guess not. Wow. All right, here it is. Okay, this looks pretty good. Now I'm gonna put the plant in. Okay, that's perfect. Guys, I also wanted to share this Platycerium Willinkii that I bought, staghorn fern. I actually bought this from Indonesia, so it imported all the way from Asia. I got it off Etsy. I actually buy all my plants from Etsy. Etsy is a great place to find houseplants, rare plants, collectible plants, anything that you wouldn't be able to normally find in your local nursery or Home Depot. I would recommend Etsy. Y'all, when I had purchased this plant, one, I was convinced that I would get scammed. Two, there was no way I was gonna get a plant this size. And three, again, I thought I was gonna get scammed or that the plant was gonna somehow die in transit. This plant arrived 2 weeks after I had purchased it. I had purchased it for $70 US. And so for a plant of this size, staghorn ferns grow extremely slow and you need very optimal conditions, which I know I already don't have optimal conditions for this plant. This was literally the exact plant that was photographed and sent to me. So I was surprisingly shocked about that. Fingers crossed that I can actually take care of it and keep it nice and luscious and big like this in my home. We'll see how this plant grows in the next few months over the course of the summer. If it doesn't grow or if the growth starts to get really small, I might have to consider changing the location of where this plant is and potentially getting a grow light. I am just really happy with the location that this plant is in right now. I feel like it fills in the space very nicely. It is quite a statement piece. It is huge. I am just really happy that this plant actually showed up and I have remounted it onto a mount so I can display it. It didn't show up in a mount, which I was a little bit surprised by. It kind of just was wrapped in saran wrap, but that's totally okay because that just means that I was able to remount it into a configuration that I wanted and I was familiar with. Again, just fingers crossed that this plant continues to grow the way it does. I'll have to keep you guys updated in a few months. All right, y'all, time for a much needed H-Mart run. Oh my God, this rice cooker is so cute. Silicone steamer? This thing is squishy. Wait, is this even safe? Now, if you guys aren't familiar with H-Mart, H-Mart is a Korean supermarket that houses a lot of Asian products. It is literally the greatest supermarket ever. If you live near one, I highly recommend checking it out. There actually isn't an H-Mart in my neighborhood, but one of the luxuries of living in New York City is that I can always go to an H-Mart that's in a different neighborhood nearby. My pantry's actually been running low on a lot of the Asian ingredients that I use, so I had to come and do a little bit of an H-Mart run. I absolutely love this supermarket. Okay guys, H-Mart haul. I usually pick up a lot of things when I go to H-Mart just because I don't go there often. Guys, check out this really cute cup and bowl that I got. Check this out. So freaking cute. It was $10. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. And they were pretty cheap, so I'm really happy to add these to my ceramic collection. Quite a bit of a haul. Granted, a lot of the things are like pantry items and condiments, and then I also just have these two ceramics here. This is about 2 weeks worth of food for me. If you have never been to H-Mart, I highly recommend H-Mart. H-Mart is the greatest place on the planet. So today for dinner, I'm gonna be making a special recipe. Check out this book that I found at this random gift shop in Bushwick called Friends. It used to be a thrift shop like many years ago. I'm talking pre-COVID days. I haven't been back into that store in many years. And the other day I randomly went in to just check it out, you know, just see what the vibes are like. It ended up being a really freaking cute gift shop. Literally look at this lighter that I bought there. It's literally a matchstick, but it's like a little torch lighter. Needless to say, there were a bunch of really cute gifts in that store. Look at this book that they had. This is the Winsun cookbook. Winsun is one of my favorite restaurants in New York City. It is a Taiwanese American restaurant. The food there is fantastic. Highly recommend if you're ever visiting New York City, go to Winsun. And when I saw this cookbook, guys, I immediately bought it. I was like, I'm buying that. There is no way I was walking out of that. Like literally just as I am recording, there are now police cars outside for some reason. Guys, I live in a really safe neighborhood. Literally nothing happens here except old people. So I don't understand why there are so many police cars outside right now. Anyways, but yeah, so I found this cookbook. There was no way I was leaving this gift shop without this cookbook. Winsun is one of my favorite restaurants. And so I figured it'd just be really fun to make a recipe out of this book. Obviously, there are some really complex recipes in there. So one of my favorite dishes from the restaurant is the loro fan. It is really freaking good. It is a Taiwanese staple. There were so many freaking ingredients in this that I was just like, where am I gonna get that? I literally like don't know where I'm gonna get half these ingredients. So I'm gonna save this for another time. I'm gonna try to make this. Again, I was like, okay, maybe I try to do the mappo, but I was like, no, I've never had the mappo there, so I don't know what to expect. I also don't even think the mappo is on the menu. So I was like, you know what would be a perfect dish to make right now, considering we are literally in the first week of summer? Sesame noodles. In the book, they have two recipes. They have a cold sesame noodle, and as you guys know, I don't like cold noodles. That is so gross. And I'm just not a cold noodle fan, sorry, don't hate me. But one of the dishes that I actually have had before at the restaurant is the black sesame noodles with mushrooms. And so I was like, that is the perfect thing to make right now. It's simple enough. I can actually source these ingredients. You know what? I am craving some sesame noodles, so that's what we're gonna make from this recipe book. Granted, I couldn't find black sesame paste. I don't know where to get that. I was literally at H Mart, and if H Mart doesn't have it, then nowhere will have it because H Mart literally has everything. I'm just gonna use regular sesame paste. I don't really even know the difference between black sesame paste and regular sesame paste, but that seems to be really the only outlier ingredient that I don't have. I'm gonna try my best to honor the original recipe, but I am adding a little bit of my own twist to it because I don't want to copy it to the exact, and I think it would just be really fun to pull inspiration from that recipe and make my own little twist. So that's what we're eating for dinner tonight. So I've prepped all the ingredients ahead of time just because I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna film that. But I have with me some shiitake mushrooms. They were on sale at H Mart, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna put that in. I'm also gonna put in some wood ear mushroom. The wood ear mushroom is actually on the original recipe. I couldn't afford the maitake mushroom, so we're not gonna do maitake. We're just gonna do shiitake. Should be simple enough. I have some garlic in here that's gonna go into the sauce. I have the noodles. And then here is the minced pork that I'm gonna use to make my protein, which is not part of the recipe. And then I also have cucumber that I'm gonna slice into little strips. And then also my scallion, and yeah, pretty simple, honestly. I have the water here boiling currently. Ooh, the water is ready, but I'm not gonna put the noodles in yet. I'm gonna put them in once I have everything prepped and made. Over on this side, I have with me all the sauce ingredients that are gonna go into it. So it's actually quite simple to make. Oh. Oh, oh my God. Ah! Oh my God, guys, why is it exploding? Ah! Ah! Guys, I've literally never cooked wood ear mushroom in my life, so this is like a totally new experience for me. Oh my god. It smells really good though. It smells freaking amazing, but god dang. Oh! Oh! Okay, all my seared ingredients are done. I got the shiitake, the wood ear, and the pork. Y'all, the wood ear mushrooms were freaking scary to make. It was literally exploding. What in the world? I've never made wood ear mushroom before, but that was good to know. What the heck? I have the noodles cooking right now, and I'm going to make the sauce inside this bowl. First thing we're gonna use is the sesame paste, and this one actually has peanut in it already, so I don't have to use peanut butter, but if I feel like the sauce isn't saucing enough, I'll probably add some peanut butter. Not sure how much, but I'm just gonna maybe do like 2 large spoonfuls. I do have a lot of noodles. Next up, the chili oil. And then I have some mirin here. Honestly, when it comes to Asian cooking, you kind of just eye it. And some sugar. Oh, that might have been a lot. I'm also quite sure the recipe called for a little bit of sesame oil, so we'll pour a little bit of that in. All right, taste test. That's ready. And now we're actually gonna take some pasta water. Again, I'm just gonna eye it. Like, that's good. Dang, guys, look at me chefing. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, what do you think of the final results? You can't really see the noodle because it's buried, but this is what it looks like. And then I also have scallions. I cut up some cucumbers. And yeah, this is looking so freaking good. Guys, did I serve? Let me know if I served. This looks so freaking good. Bone apple tea. Okay, let's just dig right in. Obviously, the main star of the show are the noodles. Oh my gosh, they're like breaking apart. Okay. Mmm. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe how easy this was to make too. Guys, I'm not gonna lie. This tastes kind of like the restaurants. I feared that I cooked, served, and ate just now. This is so freaking good. Whew. Wow, that might have been one of the best things I've ever made. Granted, I did deviate a little bit from the original recipe. I added a little bit of my own twist to it, but that's okay because it still tasted very good. There is a part of me that does wish I was able to find the black sesame paste, but I mean, regardless, I still think I did a banging job. Guys, it is so hot in my apartment. It is literally the first week of summer. I cannot believe June is almost over. Like, 4th of July is right around the corner. That's insane. I don't even know what I'm doing for 4th of July yet. Yeah, that was so good. That was crazy. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I'm gonna leave you guys here. This has been really fun. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're still here, I appreciate you. I love you. It means the world to me. The support, 1,900 subscribers. That's insane. Road to 1 million. Soon, hopefully, maybe, who knows. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Love y'all.